Good afternoon. My name is Joanna Osorno, and I want to be considered as a candidate for the program in professional counseling psychology. And I have a very clear goals. I'm a mother of two teenagers, one diagnosed with disabilities 12 years ago. And that was the moment I started to get involved with mental health counselors. That was the first advice that our neurologist gave us. It was very good advice. Sometimes you receive a lot of information and very unexpected news, and you don't know how to deal with that. So he told me that before finding million therapists for my son, I was supposed to better for myself find a therapist who can help me to deal with the new paths my life was putting in my journey. I have been a mother, but also I have a backup job for 15 years. I have to provide. But like 5 years ago, I decided to go back to school and I earned my bachelor's degree in psychology at FIU too in 2019. And it's been amazing how learning what you are passionate about can help you in my daily life, and also um, have this gave me this clear idea of what I really wanted to do. I have been volunteer for the past 8 years in three support parent support groups. Having a community is very important when you have a kid with disabilities. And in my case, my personal case, I'm one of the mothers who has an older son. So during weeks, I always have phone calls of parents asking me with kids just diagnosed with any disorder, and asking me how I get this service, or how I can do this, or how I challenge these behaviors that is they are normal in my son and other kids with any disorder or any type of situation. And I was speaking with somebody very close that she is a mental health counselor, and she told me, you know what, Joanna, you have been helping me in this group for many years. You should consider to go back to school and getting license, and maybe you can help these parents in your own setting, in your own practice. And I'm more interested like having a parents group, having these places where I can listen and I can exchange ideas. And because that, in my personal opinion, that was really what impacted my life. Having three people that during the month they gave us these insights, not specifically advice, but they give you the idea what route is better to take, and how I can handle my own uh, mental stress. I work full time, and I have to understand that the process also my son is going through, and having a daughter to that needed to face the same situation. So that's when I decided that that was the path for me. And then 1 year ago, when the pandemic started, the isolation and the lack of services due to the pandemic put us all parents with disabled kids in a very complex situation. So I ended up in the isolation and the quarantine time having 10, 12, 20 phone calls a week with parents that I didn't know how to do with these behaviors that they were treated at the school or in therapies. We used to have, my son used to have therapies from a school from 8 to 3, and then therapy until 6 p.m. every day, ABA, his psychologist, OT. And in one moment, you stop having that. You have this huge responsibility at home, and you don't know what to do. And everybody was calling me to ask me, hey, Joanna, what are you doing with Alejandro now at home, and the homeschooling, how he can stay seated. And I was having these conversations every day with mothers asking for guidance. And sometimes we think that it's easy to understand, and yeah, the homeschooling, but it was very difficult for a parent with a special need kid to just keep it seated to do a lot of things that they were required, a lot of effort and understanding. And that's when I decided to go back to school and having my applying to graduate program and getting licensed. So that's my goal. My goal is to be able to get my license, to apply everything I learn. And I am very goal-oriented person. I'm very disciplined. Having a household, uh, bringing food, cooking, everything gets you ready to be responsible for your classes. I understand that it's a very heavy load for me to take, but I'm ready and I'm very excited, and I hope I can be a good candidate. And I really appreciate the time to take the consideration. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.